invented it?
That's where that hippie kid mysteriously drowned during that party.
Here's the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to admit. The Sopranos never hid Tony Soprano's monstrosity. Audiences just refuse to see it. There's a peculiar phenomenon in the cultural afterlife of The Sopranos. A surprising number of viewers apparently require several seasons of homicide, extortion, psychological warfare, and miscellaneous vehicular assaults before concluding that Tony Soprano might not be the patron saint of North Jersey.
What line of work are you in?
Waste management consultant.
The series opens with a man in the waste management industry who denies the existence of the mafia with the zeal of a child denying cookie theft.
Why are you making me do this, you fat fucking miserable piece of shit?
All while running down debtors with luxury sedans and pressing compound fractures for emphasis. But for some, the tipping point arrives not with murder, torture, or cruelty,
For I grew up without a mother. Sacre bleu, where is me mama?
but with an act far more intimate, Tony goading Janice into an incandescent meltdown in cold cuts. If anything captures the strange moral calibration that The Sopranos induces in its audience, it is the notion that emotional sabotage of a sibling is the final straw. Long after the murders, arsons, and casual threats against family friends have curiously rolled off the conscience. Running a man over in broad daylight? Occupational hazard. Strangling another father in the time it takes Meadow to complete her college interview? A brisk errand between parental responsibilities.
Under the boardwalk, witty schlong and chance my out.
But provoking Janice at the dinner table? Now that is villainy. The catalog of earlier warning signs is exhaustive.
When you blew up the restaurant, you made me party to a criminal conspiracy.
Tony burns down Artie Bucco's restaurant while insisting he swears on his mutta he didn't. He enables Davey Scatino's catastrophic gambling spiral, then watches the man's family disintegrate without a flicker of regret.
What'd you say?
I said that's why you gotta live for today.
Talking about annihilation, you stupid fuck.
He repeatedly brutalizes Georgie, the least threatening bartender in the tri-state area, simply because the man dares to exist within reach on Tony's bad days.
You bet he was bout.
Add to this the half-naked flogging of Assemblyman Zellman, the assault of a woman half his size, and the prolonged torment of anyone achieving even a hint of emotional progress.
Hi, Mother.
You know what, Janice? Take her. You can have her. The two of you in that house, you deserve each other. It'd be worth it just to watch.
Improvement in others functions as Tony's personal allergy. The moment Janice stops behaving like her mother, Tony becomes a one-man relapse program. His treatment of Christopher further illustrates the pathology.
I'll call him. No, you go down there. Now. What'd you get your license for, Christopher? Your resume?
The supposed mentor oscillates between derision and sabotage, ridiculing Chris's addiction, undermining his attempts at stability, and ultimately smothering him, morally and literally, when his usefulness wanes.
I'll never pass a drug test.
What?
That the series positions this as both shocking and inevitable is a testament to how thoroughly it primes viewers to empathize with a monster. Like Dr. Melfi, the audience is seduced into believing Tony is more insightful, more moral, or more conflicted than those around him. And like Melfi, the audience is eventually forced to admit that intelligence and self-pity do not equal conscience. Yet the illusion persists. It survives the extortion of childhood friends, the reckless endangerment of hundreds during car chases, the gleeful racism, the serial infidelity, the manipulation of his children's lives, and the obsessive policing of their young adult relationships. It even survives Tony demanding sympathy as a misunderstood victim of anti-Italian discrimination, all while reinforcing every stereotype he claims to condemn. One might almost admire the audacity. The moral fog lifts for many viewers only in moments where Tony's cruelty sheds its professional camouflage and strikes directly at those supposedly closest to him. The belt beating of Zellman over a former mistress,
You knock your price down 35 grand, and we'll see what we can do about making your sister's custody problem go away.
the coercing of Bobby Baccalieri into his first kill purely out of spite, the jealousy of Chris's brief attempts at happiness, the contempt for Janice's self-improvement, these domestic aggressions land harder than homicides committed under the banner of business. Why? Because the show lays bare an uncomfortable truth. Tony reserves his most malicious impulses not for rivals or traitors, but for those who should be able to rely on him. Some argue that these flashes of brutality only underline his anti-hero complexity. Others insist he is simply a villain who happens to have narrative priority. The distinction hardly matters. Tony is not an anti-hero working toward a better outcome. He is an abuser using therapy to refine his manipulation strategies. The rare glimpses of charm or vulnerability merely lubricate the machinery of exploitation. If the early episodes did not make his nature clear, the running down of debtors, the staged arson, the insurance scams, the choking of men in clinical foyers, the later seasons dispel any remaining ambiguity. His pettiness expands, his malice condenses, and his resentment toward anyone experiencing joy reaches biblical intensity. Happiness in his orbit becomes an irritant he instinctively crushes. The brilliant closing use of "I'm not like everybody else" serves not as a hymn of individuality, but as a confession. Tony is indeed not like everybody else. Most people stop short of annihilating the lives around them to shield themselves from introspection.
That's where that hippie kid mysteriously drowned during that party.
By the time he mocks a child's death, sabotages Janice's progress, threatens Hesh, destroys lives over gambling debts, or casually flips from fatherly warmth to murderous resolve, the portrait is complete. The man is not misunderstood. He is not tragic in any noble sense. He is a meticulously constructed demonstration of how charisma, brutality, and self-pity can intertwine to create a figure both compelling and appalling. That so many viewers spend years rationalizing the behavior is not a failure of perception, but a testament to the power of narrative perspective. Tony Soprano is a monster written so skillfully that audiences learn to root for him against their own moral instincts. The true critique of the series lies not in revealing Tony's depravity, he announces it in the pilot, but in revealing how long people are willing to ignore it. If that made you uncomfortable, good. Subscribe.